Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. As always, if you want to learn more about the Chris Watts case, especially the Mistress, make sure you subscribe, like, and share. We have breaking news in. The Mistress now wants to change her name. It says exclusive. Chris Watts' mistress, Nicole Kessinger, has applied to change her name, seeking a fresh start nearly 2 years after she confessed to an affair with a Colorado and Odessa man. I think it's funny that after Netflix aired their documentary on September 30th, American Murder, The Family Next Door, she now wants to do a name change. She filed for this name change on October 1st. So on October 1st, she filed to have her name changed. On October 7th, she filed to have this information suppressed from the public, so we will not know her name change. And on October 15th, she had her hearing on it. We don't know if if a judge granted it, denied it. We don't know any of that information. I'm sure they're going to grant it for her. A source close to the Mistress said that because of the Netflix documentary, she's getting a lot of hate, and she believes she's the most hated woman in the world right now, and she wants to change her name and move to a new town and have a fresh new start. Do you think she deserves that opportunity? I never thought the Mistress moved out of state. I always felt she remained in Colorado. I never thought she changed her name. Chris also said that the Mistress had told him that she was going to go stay with her friend Jim until all of this got settled down. People thought because of that she moved to Milwaukee because Jim had that address. But Jim actually lived in Colorado during the time of the murders. And his apartment was only 22 minutes away from where the Mistress was staying. For some of you that are new to the case, you might be wondering, who is this Jim guy? That is a separate video of its own. Short version is Jim is Nicole Kessinger's supposedly friend. She told law enforcement that he lived out of state and that he came into town the Monday of the murders. But we clearly know he had a Colorado address, so she lied about that. Also, when they asked her about Jim, because he was going to be her alibi for after murders where she was at, she goes into this big hissy fit where she didn't want to give his last name up. She didn't want to say his phone number. She didn't want to say anything about Jim, and she flips the fuck out over it. And it's very funny that she goes into this crazy mode to keep Jim out of all of this.
I know that, like, this mom and her unborn child and these two little girls are not around anymore, and it breaks my heart. It is so, oh my God. And then I have to think about, like, the consequences of his actions and how they affect everybody else. Like, all of these, her family's impacted. My name is about to be, like, slandered for probably a while. I don't know how long it's going to take to heal, but I would not be surprised if it's going to be hard to go out in public sometimes for a couple of years. And that really hurts me. I'm just like, this is a horrible, horrible thing. Like, how dare you, you know? And people aren't going to understand that. You know, they're going to say, oh, you know, you're the woman that had an affair with this man who took out his whole family. And I take a step back and it's just like, I didn't know. Like, he's so disgusting. I'm so ashamed of him and everything. And I just, oh, those little girls. They're so little. They're so little.
We talked a little bit earlier about getting some help.
And we didn't talk that much. And then I clocked out at 3 is what my time card says. That's what I was showing Mark the other day. And I got home to go meet my buddy. One of my good friends was coming over my house. And he actually has a key to my house, so he was actually there when I got there. And
who's that?
My friend Jim. And so Jim came over, and I got home. He was there. He had like just walked in the door, and I remember like briefly after he got there, I checked my texts. I mean, briefly after I met up with Jim, I like glanced at my texts, and waited till about 3:45, then sent that text to me. And yes, he does know that I will be home at that point. Or getting home.
Did you give Mark Jim's information?
No, I would really not like to involve him in this. He does not know about this. He doesn't know any of this is occurring.
Okay.
Like, I was literally
so he knows, certainly through the media, that something's occurred.
Yeah, he's
with
out of
Chris.
town. He's probably has
Okay.
no idea. He doesn't know
Okay.
who Chris is. Like, he's not, I do not know.
So he's just a friend of yours.
Yes.
Um,
He does
that
not need
was
to be
coming
dragged
to
into
your
this.
apartment and doesn't know anything about Chris. Does he know anything about
No,
Chris? Okay.
nothing. Absolutely
Yeah,
not.
we've known Jim for
Yeah.
years and years.
You're not dating him or anything like that?
No,
It's just a
he's
friend.
like one of my very good friends. Like, my dad knows him. He's a great guy. He works out of state a lot, so when he's in town, we hang out. But when he's in town and he's off of work, to save time, so I give him a key to my house, one, because I trust him and he's one of my best friends, and two, because sometimes he will just meet me there, because I'll be like, hey, I'm getting off of work, and then if I get stuck in traffic or something, he ends up like sitting outside of my apartment waiting for me to get off of work. So I'm like, here's a key, and like my dog loves him and stuff. So no, he's not
So he's just
involved
family
with it.
friend.
Yes, I don't even
The only
want
reason
him
I asked,
dragged into this.
and I'm not really concerned about your location. I think we already have your cell phone records. At some point, did Mark ask you to supply? Did they ask for consent to get cell phone records? That'll probably be done by warrant. If we
Isn't
wanted,
that what you just did?
Nope. What I'm talking about is your movement.
Oh.
By GPS or by cell phone tower to show where you were. Obviously, and I don't want to cause you concern, we want to know where you were that day too. You're dating a man who did some egregious stuff, and we want to show that you were never near him that day. Period.
I mean, you guys
So-
can track my
No,
stuff.
yeah, I mean that was something we will have to get a warrant for, anyways. I'm just saying, if we asked for it, would you have any objections to that?
No, you can have
Right.
it.
So,
If I'm a pretty boring person,
well,
I don't
it sounds
go
like
too
you
many
just went
places.
to work that day, and then you came home, and you were there at 3:45.
Yeah, like give or
Monday.
take like 5
Yeah,
minutes.
whatever.
But yeah, so 3:45, I meet Jim there. Yeah, I would
And
totally.
so Jim is understand from an investigative point, he could be a person who could say, yeah, I was there at 3:45. He doesn't know Chris. He doesn't know anything. He could say with one phone call, yeah, she came in at 3:45. Done.
Totally.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I don't have to ask anything more than, hi, Chris, my name's Kevin. Or Jim. And I'm not saying you have to give it to you.
Just leave Jim
But
alone.
if-
Jim
if
does
at
not need to
some
be wrapped
point-
up in this.
If at some point I needed Jim's info to, let's say we couldn't find your phone records, would you
You
tell
can
me
have
who Jim
them.
was?
I will give them to you.
Would you tell me who Jim was if I
If
couldn't
you
get
had
it?
to.
Okay.
I don't really want to
Great.
involve him in this. That is not
Perfect.
fair to him. That's not, no, if I do not have to do that.
That's fine.
Yeah, so anyways, Chris was like,